right, welcome back to Legacy Connect. It's October 31st, all right, and we're live coming out of the studios of Plus TV. And you know what, guys, we're discussing about ways that this generation is being influenced. And we've heard from our audience, and we seem to be on the same page that there's positive and negative influence out there, right? But what we are talking about is that a lot of time young people says that, you know what, well, influence is what caused them to do something. And what we want to talk about is that every time a young person is faced with influence, they need to choose what influence they will follow, right? And that is the truth of it, is that you might be faced with positive and negative influence all of your life, for that matter. Because not just when you're young, but even at my age, right? Not that I'm old or anything like that, because I just 30, right? But but even at my age, or you're faced with influences. And what young people need to understand is that influence is not a cause; it's an appeal to your will to make a choice, right? So, for instance, I'd try exert influence to get young people to come to the Legacy Conference and at the concert. I can't make you come there, but I could appeal to your will, and I'd exert a level of influence in trying to convince you why you should come to the Legacy Conference or to the concert. However, now, I have exerted that influence. You need to decide now whether or not you will listen to what I'm saying, or whether or not you will say, watch out, I know upon your timing. And so I say that to say, Andrea and John, that is this perspective of influence. We will always have influence throughout our life, but at the end of the day, we need to evaluate on what influence we will allow to lead and make an impact in our life, right?
Yeah. And when in doing so, a lot of times you gauge the intensity of that influence that is coming to you. Like, for example, last week I've been in the high schools working and just sharing with the different young people about the same topic, just getting a perspective from this generation of young people in the high schools. How is it, how are you being influenced? And what are some of the things that are influencing you? And as we discuss that topic and began to look at the amount of negative influence on a day-to-day, minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour basis that our young people have to be dealing with. I mean, these kids look at me and say, it's hard. It's hard to make positive choices when you have so many negative influences coming at you. I mean, where the music is concerned, where TV is concerned, where all these things are concerned, it's very hard for our young people to make positive choices when the level of influence in negativity is so strong coming towards them.
But one of the things that we were talking about is that, yes, there's negative influence out there, but there's also positive influence, right? And that's one of my concern. I feel like that was one of our concerns, is that we felt like for the Christian young person, it feels like sometimes that we kind of clamor up. And it's only like when we're in church that we're able to express our value system or things like that. But I feel like we have a real lacking of the Christian young people they're able to exert a righteous peer pressure within their high schools too.
And it should be that way.
And that's the way it should be, right?
Because the thing that we have to understand as well is, like, I mean, that is what brought on this topic, because we saw so many Christian young people compromising in their views in terms of, I am a Christian. They compromise and they go with the flow because I don't want people look at me in a bad way, or I don't want people look at me and say either So, like, for our audience, we want to go to our audience. How do you guys overcome that? I know we have some amazing young women with us this morning. How do you overcome when you're in school? I know we have some university students with us in UB and in university. How do you guys overcome the pressure to follow the crowd and stand out? Or do you go with the flow?